Thank you guys so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be going over the top 10 available free agents this upcoming offseason and where they're going to land. I did not include Dak Prescott in this list. I made a video on him yesterday, so if you guys haven't seen that video, go check that out. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and like to do if you guys do enjoy. And without further ado, let's hop into the top 10 free agents and where they're going to land. I don't have this list in any particular order. I just put down 10 players I think are the best this upcoming free agency. I know some people may argue who's top 10 and who's not, and who deserves to be in this list and who doesn't. But these are just my top 10 players that I view as most impactful for a team this upcoming NFL season. So we're going to kick off this list with Shaq Barrett for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't think he's going to be going anywhere. I think the Buccaneers would be foolish to let him walk out the door. He's the best pass rusher that the Bucs have. He's in his prime. And with other Bucs potentially leaving like Levante David, I think they need to ensure that they have their top pass rusher if they want to return to the Super Bowl. You go to the playoffs and you watch Shaq Barrett play, he was a big reason why they won the Packers game. He was all over the place, all over the field. He got so many pressures and really solidified that pass rush unit for the Buccaneers, and I really think they need him back. They had the franchise tag on him last season, and I think they're going to try to look for a long-term deal this upcoming offseason. We'll see if they can get it done, but I do in fact believe that Shaq Barrett will be returning to the Buccaneers on some sort of team-friendly contract to ensure that the Bucs can re-sign some of his buddies, come back and play with them next season. Second player I have on the list is another Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and that is Chris Godwin. I think the Bucs are going to retain him too. He is Brady's favorite target. Brady and the Bucs are in talks right now to actually restructure his contract so he can have money to bring back some of his boys, the Antonio Browns, the Rob Gronkowskis, and the Chris Godwins of the world. I think Chris Godwin will be coming back, and he's one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL, and he's been killing it recently. I don't think the Bucs will let him go. Potentially go to, a division rival like the Panthers or the Falcons. I think they're going to retain him and bring him back for the near future. Godwin was in and out of the lineup last year, but he still managed to have 65 catches, 840 yards, and 7 touchdowns on the year with a loaded Buccaneers offense. And when he was the primary target for the Bucs and he stayed on the field for all 16 games, he did put up 1,300 yards, 86 catches, and 9 touchdowns, and being an all-pro. I think they can't let that type of talent walk out the door, and I think they're going to make way for him, and he's going to be returned to the Bucs on a good long-term deal. My next free agent that I'm going to be talking about is Aaron Jones for the Green Bay Packers. This may surprise some people, but I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to make a run and they're going to get Aaron Jones to shore up that running game. The Steelers actually had the worst running attack last season, and I think they need to fix that up. With an aging quarterback who struggles to throw the ball 50-40 times a game, they're going to need a rushing attack and somebody also out of the backfield to catch passes, screen passes, dump offs. I think Ben will benefit from that a lot. That's why I think Aaron Jones is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. He put up great numbers with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers the last 2 years. 2019, he had 16 touchdowns on the run with 1,000 yards. Just this past season, he had another 1,000-yard season with 9 touchdowns on the run, and of course, another 47 catches. So he'll be a dual threat for the Steelers out of the backfield and, running up the gut. And I think he'll be a great pick for the Steelers. And with James Conner leaving, they're going to need another tailback. And I think this is just a perfect place for Aaron Jones to go and just ball out. Next on the list is Leonard Williams. I think the Giants are going to be able to retain him and bring him back on a good deal. They got plenty of money in cap space, and he's a leader and the best player on that defense last year. He had 11.5 sacks and just absolutely wreaked havoc, most of the games he played for the Giants last season. They have no excuse to not to bring him back. They got the money. He's the best player they have on their defense, and he's still young. He's only 26 years old. I think it would be just a stupid move for the Giants if they didn't bring him back. So I just think there's no chance that the Giants let this type of talent walk out. And this was just a great move from GM Dave Gettleman, and I just don't think they're going to let that type of talent walk out the building. One thing, they traded for him a couple years ago. So I do think the Giants will be retaining Leonard Williams after his career year last season, and he will continue to rack things up for the Giants, only at the age of 26. Up next, we're going to be talking about Allen Robinson, and he's going to be playing in the same stadium as Leonard Williams because he's going to be playing for the New York Jets. The Jets are going to have a young quarterback most likely, and they're going to need a top receiver. They have tons of money to spend. They're definitely going to need a solidified number 1 receiver for the rookie quarterback, or whatever route they decide to go. If they keep Sam Darnold, they're going to need another premier threat at wide receiver. And Allen Robinson will be that guy. He's already said that he trains down in New York during the offseason. He has a home down there, and it just seems like a perfect situation for him. The Jets can give him a good contract, and he can go out there and ball out in New York. He wants to play in a big market, and that is exactly what New York is. So no doubt in my mind, I see Allen Robinson going to the Jets and being a great receiver with Denzel Mims and solidifying their playmakers, because they do not have many playmakers down there in New York, and I think he's going to be a great fit for the Jets and their new offense. a great first addition for Robert Saleh and, the new staff that are coming in for the Jets. Be on the lookout, Jets. You guys just got a new, premier wide receiver in the National Football League. I haven't mentioned an offensive lineman yet, but it's time to do that. Trent Williams is going to be a future Hall of Famer one day. He is going to stay with the 49ers, who have around $23 million in cap space. They're going to definitely need him to shore up that offensive line. All signs show that they're going to be retaining Jimmy G and bringing him back to play out his contract. And he's not the most mobile quarterback, so they're definitely going to need a great left tackle to protect his blind side and also, keep him in that pocket and keep him safe, because Jimmy G has been getting hurt the last couple seasons, and they're definitely going to need some solid protection up there. I think that's exactly what Trent Williams brings. And the 49ers are going to need to keep that on their team if they're going to get back to the Super Bowl and where they want to be. They're in a division that has a lot of great pass rushers with the likes of Aaron Donald and now J.J. Watt. So they're definitely going to need somebody like Trent Williams to just be the leader out there on their offensive line and be able to keep pace with those top defensive linemen they're going to be going against week in and week out. The 49ers, you guys get to keep your star left tackle, Trent Williams. Up next is Juju Smith-Schuster. This is going to be a bold prediction, but I'm going to put it out there. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to sign Juju to a pretty good extension. They have $85 million in cap space, and we all know that they're most likely going to select Trevor Lawrence with the first overall pick in the draft. And, they're going to need some more targets for the rookie quarterback. And I think he's the perfect fit. He gets separation. He's able to create yards after the catch. He's a good teammate to have. He's a good locker room guy. And I think he's going to be great for a young team looking to build off of, their newly acquired quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. He's had a couple of, up and down seasons with the Steelers. In 2019, he only had 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. And this past season, he failed to get to 1,000 yards once again, only getting 800. But I think he's going to bounce back. He definitely has the potential to be an electrifying player. And I think with Trevor Lawrence, he's going to put up some good numbers. I think this would be a great signing for the Jaguars, as they have plenty of money to spend and plenty of holes to fill, and one of those is wide receiver. I know they have DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault they drafted in the second round last season, but they definitely could use a guy in the slot, and they could put in Juju right there, and their offense is looking pretty good with a young quarterback, a good running back in James Robinson, while also having some good targets on the outside for the young quarterback. Jacksonville, you guys get the new TikTok star Juju Smith-Schuster. One of the most surprising players of the 2020 NFL season, Trey Hendrickson. I think he's going to be going to the Cleveland Browns. He had a monster year last year with 13.5 sacks, was one of the top in the league. The Saints are currently $50 million over the cap. They're making a lot of cuts right now and a lot of restructuring their deals. They're going to get down to the required amount, but they're not going to have a lot of money to re-sign some of their top players. And I think that means Trey Hendrickson will be one of the people that are let go. I don't think they can afford him, and the Browns, they were just looking to sign J.J. Watt, who ended up going to the Cardinals. I think he'll be a beast opposite side of Garrett and provide even more pressure for the Browns, who need some help on their defense. The Browns defense was kind of the reason why they couldn't make, a deep playoff push last season. And I think they're going to look to shore that up. I think Trey Hendrickson with Myles Garrett would definitely be a nasty duo and one of the best in the league. I know a lot of Browns fans wanted J.J. Watt, but they're going to get a guy that has a lot of upside and had a great year last year, a better year than J.J. Watt. And that duo of Trey Hendrickson and Myles Garrett would be a nasty duo and tear up the AFC North. I have a third Buccaneer on this list. That is Levante David. I think he's going to be going to the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins just cut Kyle Van Noy, and they need a run-stuffing linebacker. They don't really have any of those. They have these smaller, quick, fast linebackers to pass rush, such as Jerome Baker, Andrew Van Ginkel. They're going to need a run-stopping linebacker, and I think that's exactly what Levante David will be towards the end of his career. He has great instincts to fill running holes and always knows where to go, and he has the sideline-to-sideline speed still, at the age of 31. I think as he gets to the tail end of his career, he's not going to be asked to cover, tight ends and fast wide receivers as much anymore. He's going to be playing more of a run support role. I think that's perfect what the Dolphins need. He has a house and he trains in Miami. I think it's just a perfect situation for him as a team that needs a linebacker. They need a run stopper. It is still unknown if the Bucs will let Levante David leave, but we'll have to wait and see. They have a lot of people to sign. I think Levante David may be the odd one out. As he's aging, they're going to want to keep the younger stars that they have on their team. They already have a great linebacker in Devin White. I think David may be the odd one out, and he'll be finding a new home with the Dolphins. Last but not least on this list is Brandon Sheriff. He's a top guard in the NFL. He played on the tag last year for the Washington football team, and they're going to look to extend him as they're going to have a young quarterback or an inexperienced quarterback such as Taylor Heineke in there at quarterback, and they're going to need a solid offensive line to let that quarterback grow and develop into a solid NFL quarterback. when you're kind of rebuilding or trying to sustain success, you can't let top players leave your team. And that's exactly what Brandon Sheriff is. He's one of the best players in the National Football League, and you cannot let him walk out for nothing. But I do think Washington will get a deal done with him by the time free agency comes around, and I do think he'll be returning to Washington and being a great leader and protection asset for their next quarterback, who's going to need some time to serve the field and, like I said, develop into a solid NFL player. And you can't let an elite offensive lineman go when you're trying to develop a young quarterback. Anyway, that was my list of my top 10 free agents and where I think they're going to go. If you guys disagree with my list and think they're going to go somewhere else, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and like the video if you guys did enjoy it. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.